Hey everybody, the Reswirl here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Path. Okay, I believe this is actually the last part of this case, or episode. Anyway, so we're back in the courtyard. The courtyard. Depending on what we find here, the entire incident could become clear. Yeah, because I think the last thing that was presented to us was that the body could have been dropped down the well. Yeah, and then moved from there to the workroom, as opposed to move from his holding cell to the workroom. However, there's nothing left here. Yesterday, yeah, there was the stage show. Isn't there one more possibility? Oh, this is where we're going over this. The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down there, or dropped from there. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. The only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. Was the body dropped down the well or not? This could be the decisive clue we need, or that we need, to reach the truth of the matter. Before I continue with the investigation, I should organise my evidence. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. I can understand getting rid of useless evidence. I don't understand the point in organising it. No, because it just makes it sound like what the order it's put it in is more important. Okay, what the hell did we get rid of? We still have loads. By the way, let's see here. Hey, there's a grate here. The well has run dry after all. They even put a lock on it. Lockpicking is one of my specialties. Wanna see? There is absolutely no need for you to show off. Yeah, sorry, I've been away for like a month. Well, I haven't been away. It's more the fact I've been busy with YouTube re-uploads, and as a result haven't had time to record. And when I did finally record, I was too hooked on other games, such as Valhalla. But I'm finally got around to this. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Whoa. What happened, Kay? The lock is broken. Judging from the looks of it, it feels like it was broken some time ago. So the lock was broken. This means that anyone could have dropped the body down this well. According to Judge Courtney's reasoning, Mr. Keyes murdered Knightley in the courtyard. And then during the show, he disposed of the body in the well. You think so? Did he really use the well to move the body? I know. Let's get Missile to help us out again. He should be able to track the scent of the body. Good idea. Let me contact Detective Gumshoe. But I've also been working on, like, the future of the series, because I'm actually able to cover Dual Destinies, Spirit of Justice, and hopefully, if I'm actually able to get it working, the Great Ace Attorney, which is awesome. So I've been focusing really hard on those, just to make sure they work. Because I really want to cover the entire series back to back. Yes sir, Detective Gumshoe here. Detective, I have a favour to ask of you. We would like for you to bring Missile to the prison courtyard. Sounds like you need the help of one of my 7 secret weapons again, huh sir? I thought Missile belonged to the police department. Also, I would like for you to contact a witness. Please contact Regina Berry of the Berry Big Circus and bring her here. Roger that, sir. I'll bring them over in a flash. So, what should we do while we wait for Gummy? How about some hide and seek? What are you talking about, Kay? There's nowhere to hide here. I don't think that is the issue. Kay, during times like this, isn't it your turn to shine? Oh, that. You want me to recreate the crime scene? Okay, so Little Thief does still exist. Okay, good. How do you do that? See for yourself. The Great Thief's secret weapon. Little Thief. There we go. And to be fair, I'm really looking forward to The Great Ace Attorney, because that's a game I've seen next to none of. Downside is I can't get it working at the moment. It just plays at like 7 FPS, so it's unplayable in its current state. But I'll work on fixing it in the meantime. What's that? Screen's floating in mid-air. Just what are you doing, Kay? I'm entering the information needed for the simulation. Mr. Shields, this little thief is a tool that can recreate a crime scene based on the information it is given. Should I set it for how this place was? For how this place was like yesterday when we came here? I completely butchered those words, but whatever. Yes, I believe they were in the middle of taking down the set. I didn't pay enough attention to the well, so it's possible we may have missed a clue. Leave it to me. I took a picture of the place too. Oh yes, you did. There, and there. Whoa, Jesus. Data entry complete. Now to set the projection to maximum output. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Oh man, the actual animation for it changed quite a bit. What? What just happened? I recreated the courtyard from yesterday, based on the information I entered. This was a tool the previous Yatagarasu used. It's a device to run simulations to practice stealing things. But used in this manner, we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past. Oh, but it's still only a recreation based on what information we have. I can't recreate what I don't have information for, and if my information is incorrect, the recreation could come out strange too. In this case, since Kay had the photo, there should be no problems. Now let's begin the investigation. Woohoo! Alright, so we're investigating the simulation. Since it's a recreation, you can examine things just like you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. Yes, I know. First, I should start with that well. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, this looks no different. Let's examine the area around the well. It holds the key to this case. So that's... I think that says 33. I'll just examine everything that's here. This is a metal weight. It weighs. It's hard to see in the recreation. Okay, do you remember? Wasn't it 33? Yeah, 33 pounds. I think it was 33 pounds. So metal weights, placed near the well, each one weighs 33 pounds. 15 kilograms. I wonder what such a heavy weight, such a heavy thing was used for. It doesn't seem to be directly related to the circus. What about the rope? It's a sturdy hemp rope. It looks like the rope they used for tug-of-wars. I'm not going to play tug-of-war with you. I didn't even say anything yet. There's a metal stake attached to the end of the rope. Oh, you use these to pin down a tent when you go camping. Doesn't seem like they'd need this for the performance. I wonder what it was used for. Oh, I didn't want to... Nothing unusual about this area. I wanted to examine these, not the sheet. There are some pulleys here. They don't appear to be the pulley that was used to lift the bucket from the well. Oh. Wait, am I able to... I'm pressing the wrong buttons. May as well just examine everything. This pulley was used to lift the bucket from the well. The bucket can't be found. My god! Pretty sure this is already, yeah, what we've been over. Does this just take me back to the same scene? Oh, it does! That's no fun! The well was behind the stage. That means only a few people would have access to dump the body in the well during the performance. This isn't looking good for Mr. Keys. These things around the well, what were they used for? Oh, the pulleys, metal weights, and ropes. To lower a body? I wonder. They don't seem to be related to the animal show. I agree. We can ask Miss Berry about it later. Alright, so I got things around the well. Wait, what are my logics? Tools around the well and then the weights. Okay. Pulleys, metal weights and ropes. What could they be used for? Oh, I can actually interact with... Ha! The elephant! Oh, brilliant. This crate. No, there are tyres attached to it, so I guess it's a cart. Just once I'd like to ride one of these bad boys down a hill. Of course. Or maybe one of those office chairs with wheels. Doesn't that sound like fun? Yeah, but then stopping is the problem. With both. What is she talking about? A load of shit. What was the elephant's name again? She's Astique the Asian Elephant. Star of the show, along with Regent the Tiger and Simon. So that's more logic. Okay. Ah, that's right. It's an easy name to remember. Maybe. They couldn't think of a good name, so they gave her a name that's easy to remember. Mr. Edgeworth, what a terrible thing to say about poor Astique. Absolutely terrible. That's all the information we can gather for now. The detective should be here soon too. Okay, go ahead and shut down Little Thief. Alright, pretending the area's a novel. Woohoo! I love Little Thief. It's just such a cool thing. Recreating crime scenes. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Gumshoe! Oh, and Miss Berry. Hey, speak of the gummy. Detective Gumshoe. That was quick. I couldn't keep you waiting for too long, sir. Thanks for coming along too, Regina. No problem. It sounded like fun, so I skipped practice to come here. Thank you for your cooperation. First, Detective, let's have Miss Isle do some tracking. No problem, sir. Hey, Miss Isle. Come on, over here, pal. Oh. Hey, what's eating you, pal? I said over here. Oh dear. What's the matter? Looks like he's scared of something, sir. Oh. The alligator, maybe? Alligator? I guess she's scared of the alligator, sir. Good grief. Looks like Miss L won't be much help to us. I mean, the alligator's on the other side of the bloody thing, though. Damn. So what should we do, Miles? Maybe we can ask Miss Berry for help. What is it? What is it? Is there something I can do? Do you want me to teach Allie a trick? Actually, she probably could. No, I just need you to tell me about the condition of the courtyard during the show. Looks like it's my time to shine again. Yes, if you please. Okay, so we're going into another simulation. Alright, that should do it. I'm starting up the recreation now. I really do like the animation for it, though. Oh, wow. Also, this is at 8 AM. So, recreation complete. This time you can see how the courtyard was during the animal show. It should be around the time the body was dropped down the well. Wow, cool, it's just like magic. It's not magic, I just recreated the scene based on the information you gave us. See, look over there. The well. The backstage area is missing. Well, Regina didn't help with the preparations, so she doesn't really know how it was set up. I get it, you can't recreate what you don't have the info for, huh? I'm sorry, it's because Simon took care of setting everything up. Don't worry yourself none. Regina Pie. Miles is the one at fault here. Why me? Mr. Edgeworth, I've recreated the show in progress. But I can also change it to how it was earlier, when it was being taken down. See, so we can examine the courtyard during the show and after the show. We can freely switch between the two different states. To change the recreation, select Little Thief on the bottom screen. Now let's begin the investigation. What button can I press? Or do I literally have to press it? Oh, I would have to press it. That blows. Or do I? Hang on. That brings up that logic. Y? X. Oh, there we go. That does work. Yeah, what's up? Nothing. I was just seeing if there was a button that I could use. Thankfully, there was. So we can actually look at Simon. Oh, that was my phone. Oh, nothing important. A love story between a tiger and an elephant and a tiger. I really wanted to see that. I also wanted to see Simon in action. Simon is really amazing. Especially the part where he gets blown away. Blown away. That's the scene in question. At that point, the suspect, in the role of the villain, is blown away by the heroine's burning love and makes his exit. After being blown away, the suspect disappeared from the stage. You saying the crime was committed during that time? Do you know how long he was gone from the stage? Let me think. About 15 minutes or so. It's just as Judge Courtney said. But isn't it dangerous to be blown away by an elephant? It's alright, Astique is very gentle. That's not who we're worried about here. During the first few practices, he was having trouble getting blown away. Then all of a sudden, he was able to be sent flying beautifully. He might be using some sort of device, but it's amazing. A device? Pulley. Do you know anything about it? I have no idea. Simon handled it all by himself. The scene where Astique knocks Simon into the air employs some kind of trick, so it will be the pulley in the well. I would assume. I wonder if can I join those? Yeah, pulleys, metal... Oh! Metal weights and ropes. What could they be used for? Simon's stunt. I can try it, I suppose. Connect! Hey! It worked. Very nice. Mr. Keys used a device for his stunt. Maybe the tools around the well are connected to this. Aha! Okay, I'd like to recheck the tools lying around the well yesterday. Can you change the recreation to the after the show scene? Roger. What time was it after the show? Was that the 10 AM? Oh, 3:37 PM. Christ. The tools lying around the well. Could they have been a part of his device? It seems very likely. I wonder if it's possible to recreate the device. If you ask Mr. Keys, he should be able to tell you how the device was put together. Alright, I'll go ask him. We're just gonna have to wait. Oh no, it's just gonna go to black and then come back. There we go. Awesome. Mr. Edgeworth, I asked him about it. And did you find out how the device works? Oh, it goes down into the well. Okay, that makes sense. He used the rope to hang some weights on the well's pulley. The weights were suspended inside the well. Then he ran the rope through 2 more pulleys and tied the end of the rope to his own body. So he uses the force of the falling weight to send himself flying. What's to stop the weights from falling on their own? In order to prevent that from happening, he used a stopper. Miss Berry didn't know anything about the well. That means Mr. Keys removed the stopper by himself. Correct. That's why a second rope was needed. This rope was attached to the stopper, and when it was pulled from the stage... the stopper would be removed, and the weights would drop down the well. Huh. I'm definitely going to steal this idea. The Atakarasu won't lose to something like this. Don't waste your time. Circus acts require extensive training. Even if you steal the device, it won't do you any good. Then I'll train as well. Before you start training, could you first update the recreation? Oh yeah, you wanted me to recreate the device that was used in the performance. First, let's return to the during the show scene. Right, so now the back will probably be filled in. Next, I'll input the information of the device on the well. Now we can recreate the device Simon made. Okay, holy crap. Oh, so that's what the... Right, I understand now. So this is the device that Mr. Keys used. Simon's device, set up for the big stunt during the show, uses 3 pulleys, 2 ropes, and a weight as the well and some weights. God, elaborate as hell. Simon sure is gutsier than he looks. Using the falling weights as the force to launch himself during his performance. Indeed, he would have to drop enough weights to exceed his own body weight, in order to provide the strength needed to pull him off the stage. Strength to be pulled. In order for the stunt to work, the weights must exceed Simon's weight. Simon must have practiced a lot for this. I never actually spoke with Gumshoe. Gummy! Mr. Edgeworth, you've got that look on your face, like you want to use my secret weapon, sir. Miss Hall isn't in the mood, but I've got my fishing rod ready to go. Or would you prefer the metal detector? Oh. Metal detector, one of Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons, can detect metal objects. Never! Something called a metal detector detects metal. Never would have guessed. I've never seen the detective's eyes sparkle like that. If need be, I'll let you know. For now, just stand by. Alright, what else do I have in logic? Mystique the elephant. Oh wait, there we go. I guess. Weigh 33 pounds. Let's go together. I can't imagine one weight being enough. Yeah, I don't think he weighs that little. Isn't this strange? What's wrong, pal? Oh, right. Wait, so haven't you noticed, Detective, what's strange about the weight is... the weight, the number, the material. The weight. Yeah. The number. No, the weight. It won't be heavy enough. It's not heavy enough. There we go. Not heavy enough. In order to lift Simon's body, more weights are required. In order to pull up Mr. Key's body weight... You're right, sir. But where did the rest of the weights disappear to? Looks like it's time to use my 7 secret weapons, sir. If necessary, I'll let the detective know. Right... Whoa, what the hell is this? Oh? This crate was empty in the recreation earlier. That's right. It was also empty in the picture I took. What is it? Oh, I'm sorry. That information is wrong. What do you mean? This crate contained Azteque's food. In the morning on the day of the show, all the apples were gone. I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry. Missing apples, huh. I should make a note of it. So Azteque's feed was there the day before the show, was gone the next morning. Okay. Okay. So, I'm assuming the weight would be metal. So if I connected both of those... Does that work? Screw it. If I think it works, may as well try. Detective Gumshoe, it's time for your secret weapon. Yes, sir, not the fishing rod. I was hoping for the metal detector. I don't get many chances to use this one. It's a fishing rod. Before we begin the search, I like how he's basically addressing the player. Let me go over how to use the metal detector, sir. This metal detector uses sound. And this meter, to let you know how close you are to a metal object. When you get closer to a metal object, the metal detector will have a bigger reaction, like this. When you get the biggest reaction, give me the order to examine that spot, sir. Now let's see what we've got. It's just the metal fence. That was obvious. That's basically how you search for metal objects. Just give me the instructions on where you want to search, sir. God, I actually get to control Gumshoe. Wait, really? The pool. Yeah, there's a reaction here too, sir. Let's check it out. Huh? I found these in the clumps of grass here, sir. Oh, they're in the grass. Oh. These are the weights used for that hoisting device. Were these intentionally hidden? There's 4 of them in all, sir. How many weights would be enough to lift Simon? So the other weights that were used in the device were hidden. Why were they hidden over here, though? See? I'm really earning my keep today, aren't I, sir? Oh god, the alligator. The alligator. That scared me, pal. Huh? What's the matter, detective? It looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? You sure it isn't still just reacting to the weights? It's a different reaction, sir. And it's definitely coming from the alligator. Huh? It's gone. Was that Kay laughing? Looks like it's scared of us. I don't think so, Kay. Huh? If anything, I think Allie looks a little under the weather. Allie, I suppose that was what Warden Roland called it. She didn't eat any of the food that the Warden gave her yesterday. I think she might have eaten something bad. Oh, like a weight. So I guess the metal detector could be reacting to whatever the alligator ate. Oh, maybe she ate one of the weights. I doubt that even an alligator can ingest a 33-pound weight. But what could the metal detector be reacting to? Regardless, why were these weights hidden? Maybe we should take another look at the device on the well. Okay, I'd like you to recreate the after-the-show scene again. Okay. Bum 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 bum. God, the bloody noises. Right, okay. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Obviously I need to deduce. So the well was behind the stage, that means... Right, yeah, we've read that. What's it say about this? It was part of the device used during the show. We create a device with just one piece of rope. Sounds surprisingly handy. One piece of rope. It seems that there is a contradiction with the device. There are two pieces of ropes. Yeah. It's using two pieces of rope, not just the one. I'm pretty sure it said, yeah, 2 ropes. 3 pulleys, 2 ropes, the well and some weights. Eureka! This recreation and the device we saw earlier. There is a major discrepancy. One of the ropes is missing. You're right. Without it, the device won't work. I wonder what happened to it. Where did the missing rope disappear to? It's possible that we hold the piece of evidence that shows where the rope went. Huh? Which piece of evidence shows where the missing rope went? Oh. I wonder. Found with the body. Ah. The rope we found with the dead body. Could it be? Yes, it could be the other piece of rope that was used here. Then does that mean this rope was attached to the weight? However, the weight was not one of these metal weights. These weights were hidden in the grass and replaced with something else. If they were replaced, then what was used as the weight? The body! That's grim. What was tied to the rope we found in the workroom? If we can recall that, then the answer should be clear. The weight that was dropped in place of the weights that Mr. Key had prepared was... Oh, that is... Oh no. What dropped down the well was none other than Knightley's dead body. Mr. Knightley's body was used as the weight? Holy crap. Yes, the weights were replaced with Knightley's body. Mr. Case used the device to launch himself off the stage. When the rope that was tied to him was undone and let go, both the body and the rope dropped down the well. Wow. Definitely was not expecting that. The rope wasn't used to tie up Knightley. It was used to suspend him inside the well. That also explains why the other weights were hidden. So that no one would find out that the weights were replaced with the body. Yes, the killer was the one who hid those weights. Doesn't that also explain how J. Elbird never found the body in the tunnel? Because if it was suspended above, it would only drop it into the well at a certain point during the show. But Miles, wasn't Knightley Boy stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon? If he was suspended in the well, wouldn't there be blood at the bottom of the well? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The killer was also aware of that. That's why they used this item. Oh! The bloodstained sheet. found near the body. There's a stack of them inside workroom A, very colourful. Of course. The sheet we found near the body. It was actually wrapped in his body. Oh, his body was wrapped in it, I mean. It was used to wrap up the body. I see. It looks like all the pieces are starting to come together. Eh? But this means that the body definitely came from the well. If that's the case, wouldn't that mean Simon is the killer? No. That's not necessarily the case. But yesterday Judge Courtney said, if Mr. Case was the killer, would we have needed to set up such an elaborate device? I guess you have a point. Mr. Case was only responsible for dropping the body during the show. In other words, it doesn't matter where the real killer was or what they were doing during the show. Until now, this placed the doubt on the people who did not watch the animal show. It's true. We also suspected Mr. Dogan. Then the killer's true intent was to make us think that the murder occurred during the show. In other words, they used the device on the well to create a fake alibi. Miss Berry, do you know when this device on the well was set up? Let me think. The day before the show? I think it was at night. We all started preparing at 9 PM. We finished at around midnight. The killer replaced the weights with the dead body afterwards. Weights switched with the body. The device was set up with the body on the night before the show. Wow. Simon's device data updated in my organizer. Someone switched the weights with the body. Did Dogan know about the device? No, even if he knew about the device, it wouldn't be possible for him to use it. You can't teach a dog to suspend a body in a well. In other words, Dogan is not the killer. Huh. Wait, so, what is my logic at the moment? I know I have a few. Estique the elephant, weight switch with body... Oh, I don't actually have anything. No. Actually, wait. That's Astique's feed. Was there the day before the show, was gone the next. Did she eat it? It's the only thing that I could assume to connect with Astique the elephant. Try it. The apples in the crate were probably eaten by Astique. But it's strange. I remember leaving the crate out of reach from Astique's nose. Are you certain? Yes, the crate was still full of apples on the night before the show. Then the cart was moved to where her nose could reach it. With that many apples, it could not have been moved by the wind. Most likely, the crate was moved by a person. Crate of apples. Somebody moved the crate of apples on the night before the show. Oh. I wonder if they did that to also cart the body. Prior to the show, the cart's position was already changed and the apples were all eaten. This appears to be the correct information. Please update the simulation parameters, Kay. Alright, I'll use the new info to recreate the scene. First, let's return to the during the show scene. God, do I have to get the animation every time too. Using the info we got from Regina, I'll recreate the scene with the car in its actual place. Recreation complete. So if it was moved at the same time the weights were switched, I would assume. This cart was moved. Actually, hang on. I've just realised why it would have been moved. Because there's a door behind it, but I don't remember what the door leads to. I don't even know if we know. I don't know if we ever got a chance to actually interact with it. But that could have been why it was moved. This cart was moved the night before the show. The body was also switched the night before the show. I don't think it was just a coincidence. Keeping that in mind, the question now becomes, why was the cart moved? The cart used to be in front of that door. I can think of one reason why. Somebody opened that door. Alright, let's hurry up and... The door's locked. Let's ask a guard. Hey, Mr. Guard. Yes, what is it? That was fast. You there. Where's the key to this door? The warden's in charge of it. I'll get it from her right away. There he goes. The warden is in charge of the keys here. Without the warden's permission, this door can't be opened. Oh. Thank you very much. Hooray! What? Oh! It's a circuit breaker panel. This must be the breaker room. On the night before the show, somebody came into this room. I wonder why they would come here. I don't think anyone would confuse the breaker room with the break room. It was definitely to operate the circuit breakers. Power outage? So someone came here to shut off the power to something. Was there anything that had its power shut off? The camera? What could have had its power shut off by the breaker? Security footage. 3 hours off. The security camera footage had a 3-hour gap. Ah, I see. The circuit breaker for the security camera was tripped. It's highly possible. Was this the killer's handiwork? With the camera down, it'd be easier to move about. The killer would have a major advantage. I knew it. If that's the case, the killer was the person who tripped the breaker. The person in charge of the key to the breaker room is... It couldn't be. The warden. Huh. Found in the breaker room at the prison... at the prison courtyard? Would that not be in the prison courtyard? Yeah, whatever. Was it used on the night before the body was found? Deactivating the recreation. Oh my. There we go. Investigation complete. God, I love this game. It's so good. Of course. I'm first to the scene as always. Good morning, Mr. De Best. What? You? How did you get here before me? Greetings, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I see you have arrived early. And maybe it is you who are late, Judge Courtney. I have many matters which require my attention. I have no time to waste. Unlike a certain prosecutor who was taken off the case. Oh, my apologies. I had forgotten that you were assisting the defense attorney. An assistant can never be the best. You've fallen like the rest. You just say whatever you like, don't you? Let's begin our examination of the courtyard, Sebastian. Alright. I'll call the men over. Oh. That will be unnecessary. I love how he always cries. Always has tears in his eyes. What? We've already finished the investigation of the courtyard. You've been bested. Bested? Me? Judge Courtney? Your reasoning from yesterday. Watch me shatter it to pieces. Ooh. I would advise you to choose your words more carefully. Have you forgotten that the fate of your badge rests in my hands? I have had enough of such coercion. Can't you think of some other way to threaten me that does not involve my badge? Hey, very rude! Despite my repeated warnings, you show no signs of reflection. It seems I must remind you once more. The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee can't leave someone such as yourself unchecked. Yeah, I object to your overruling. Neither the fact of my badge nor the actions of the committee will impede my progress. Providing Mr. Keyes' innocence, that is all that concerns me. Your words are like those of a defense attorney. If you are willing to go that far, then I will show you no leniency. In the name of the goddess of law, I shall turn your words against you. I really quite like the extendo hammer. And at that moment you will forfeit the title of prosecutor. You shall regret this. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So Judge Courtney's reasoning. I shared my reasoning with you the day before. Since Mr. Elber did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, it could only have been dropped down the well during the show. The only one who could have performed such an act is the suspect. Uh-huh. Naturally, you have evidence to support your reasoning. Of course she does. Who do you think she is? Earlier I received the official autopsy report. Babysitting that kid must be difficult. The time of death was the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the day before the show. The cause of death remains unchanged, a stab wound 4 inches deep. Jesus. Time of death, sometime from 3 AM to 6 AM on March 27th, died instantly from a stab to the neck. Whew. Simon Keyes was not present on the stage for a period of 15 minutes. There was sufficient time for him to drop the body down the well. She has not investigated the courtyard yet. That means... it seems there is a hole in your argument. You seem quite confident. Can you present evidence to support your claim? Of course I can, and I will. Oh yeah. So I shared my reasoning with you the day before. Will pressing be a... gets me extra dialogue, I suppose. So you continue to believe Mr. Keyes is the murderer, just as you continue to speak as if he is not. Do you have any decisive evidence? Do you know the identity of the true criminal? You do realize you need proper evidence too. I am a representative of the Goddess of Law. My words are her holy orders. Indeed, if I state something is black, it is black. If I state something is white, it is white. So what would you call grey? If you wish to disprove my words, then present your evidence at once. Right. Couldn't it be possible that Elbert just failed to notice the body? Miss Assistant, did you also enter the hall? Huh? How did you know? I noticed that there was some mud stuck... Oh, there was some mud stuck on your lovely hair ornament yesterday. That's amazing. Your powers of observation would even put a great thief to shame. In the name of the Goddess of Law, answer me truthfully. If there was a dead body in that tunnel, would it have escaped your notice? Well, the thing is... yeah, I think I would have noticed something like that. What if it was suspended above you? Do you understand now? Mr. Elbert did not see the body. Probably because it was suspended above him. Could only have been dropped down the well during the show. I mean, she's not wrong. Not wrong there. The body was dropped down the well during the show. I'd like to hear your reasoning for this. I don't know why we're disputing this. We know it was dropped down the well. The day before the show, Mr. Elbert lent the key to Mr. Knightley. The key to Knightley's cell, huh? Mr. Knightley escaped from his cell with the key and entered the cage Mr. Keyes had prepared. Mr. Keyes then moved the cage to the courtyard and proceeded to murder Mr. Knightley. The next day, when Mr. Elbert passed through the tunnel, he did not come across the body. Please wait a minute, that doesn't seem right at all. Wasn't there a sweet smell in the tunnel? Mr. Knightley must have passed through it. Mr. Knightley passed through the tunnel after Mr. Elbert did. Mr. Elbert passed through the tunnel at the start of the show. However, the body wasn't found until the end of the show. Which is why you believe the body was dropped during the show. Yes, and there is only one person who could have carried out this act. Yes, Keyes. We get it, we get it. But you're wrong. Where is it? All the way at the end, of course. Simon's device. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it, you bitch. Unfortunately for you, Judge Courtney, your argument doesn't hold any water, just like the well. There was a device set up around the well here. What is this device of which you speak? Are you aware of the stunt in which Mr. Keyes is blown away by the elephant during the show? I have heard of it. It would have been right before he exits the stage. He tied one end of a length of rope to himself and the other end to a set of weights. He was able to perform the stunt by dropping these weights down the well. Wouldn't he have spent the whole play suspended it up in the air? That's why he had a stopper attached to the weighted end. The stopper was removed by pulling another rope. Around the well, we found evidence that the weights were switched with the victim's body. This was done by the real killer in order to shift suspicion away from them. But, judging from the time of death, the murder was carried out in the early morning of the show. The true criminal had until the time of the show started to set up the device. My god, he really is persistent. But didn't Simon Keyes make that thing? And since he was also the one who used it, he is the best suspect. Don't you agree? If Mr. Keyes were the murderer, he would not have needed to do that. Miss Berry? Yes? Was there anyone else who knew of the device he set up? Well, let me see. Since we had to get everything about our show approved by the people here at the prison, I say there were others who knew about it. And there you have it. I see. You have indeed performed a thorough investigation. Which is why I am even further perplexed. Why do you not use your efforts for justice? My actions are not just? Who made that decision? You cannot understand even that? Even now? Providing support to a defense attorney, despite being a prosecutor. It is quite unnatural. This goes against the rules. I am merely choosing to do what I think is right at this particular time. I travel down the road I have chosen. Your comprehension does not matter in the least. However, if anyone intends to interfere, I will show no mercy. Perhaps this is a calling from the Goddess of Law. If you intend to rebel against her divine will, I will have no choice but to hand down my verdict. Pay heed to my words. I have one more reason to suspect Simon Keyes of murder. Of course you do. They never give up, do they? Never ever give up. Reason for suspicion. If the body came from the courtyard, how was Mr. Knightley brought here from the detention centre? Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity. Because of this fact, I find it most difficult to suspect any other party of this crime. So while Simon Keyes was moving supplies for the show, he visited Mr. Knightley's cell. Does that not strike you as odd? Why else would he have brought a large covered cage with him? Oh, that does seem pretty suspicious. Mr. Keyes was merely that kind of person. It is entirely possible that he carelessly brought it there. And if that is possible, then it is also possible that he was assisting in the escape. Am I wrong? I suppose I must refute her theory with evidence. Indeed. Bum bum bum. You seem to believe that Knightley was killed in the courtyard. So can you say when he was brought here? On the day of the show, between midnight and 8 AM. I'm positive it could only have been during that time. So after rehearsal had ended and before the show began. The most pressing issue is... Bum bum bum. Ba ba ba. Are you certain there were no other routes? A trial date had not yet been determined for Mr. Knightley. Since he was not a prisoner, he could not have easily entered the prison. He would have stood out too much. Meaning no one testified seeing him there. Well done. May you be blessed by the Goddess of Law. As I said, Mr. Knightley was taken into the prison through a less conspicuous manner. Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity. I think you're wrong. Because of this. Mr. Keyes wasn't the only one who had the opportunity. Who else could have had the opportunity? The timestamp on the security camera is off by 3 hours. This means there was a 3-hour gap in time. During that time, anyone could have done it. If that were the case, then the murderer would have created the gap in time intentionally. It would not have been a simple camera failure. Are you saying that is possible? It's possible if you had access to this. There we go. The circuit breaker. In this courtyard, we found the circuit breaker for the security camera. It was possible to access the breaker room both before and after the murder. What? Oh yeah, triple dots, of course. Unfortunately, it appears that you have fallen short of your intentions. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't fallen short of anything. So, can you explain how the murderer obtained the key to the breaker room? Oh yeah, that's right. It was locked, wasn't it? The warden hangs on to the key, right? The breaker room has great importance even in a prison. There is no one who would be able to obtain the key so easily. Well, I can think of someone. Oh, the music. What did you say? This person, the murderer, was able to get the key. They didn't even need to steal it. There can't be anyone like that. Besides, the breaker to the electrified fence is in that room too. Only one person could have done this. I didn't want to believe it myself, but I trust that my logic is sound. The person who used the key to enter the breaker room is... of course, Patricia Rowland. The murderer is... woof. Right as I was about to say. Of course, Warden Rowland. Oh my, what an energetic little puppy. That's because this dog is extremely fond of sweets. It seems to detect a sweet scent on you. Oh, heavens no. I'm not even wearing perfume or anything of the sort. What the dog detects is the sweet scent of death. How poetic. However, does that not imply that I committed a murder? That's what I think. Whew. What? The warden is... the murderer? Mr. Edgeworth, are you serious about your statement? Oh, how amusing. The very thought of a warden committing a murder. Oh god. Sounds like a mystery... like something out of a mystery novel. Precisely. Your reasoning is in contempt. Nothing of the sort. I did not want to believe it myself. But, based on the evidence, I have no choice but to believe it. This evidence proves that Warden Rowland is the murderer. So, small bruises on his head has a sweet scent. The smell gave you away. As you can plainly see, someone has taken notice. This police dog? He tracked a sweet smell that came from the body. And right now, he is telling us that the same scent is also on Warden Rowland. You're a cruel one to accuse me of murder based on something like that. Right, Justine, darling? It appears that Judge Corney has reached the same conclusion as I have. Mr. Edgeworth, this couldn't have been just a coincidence, could it? The key to the breaker room, and the same scent on the body. If it were only one, it could have been seen as such. It appears we have reached a conclusion. We should now listen to what the warden has to say. Indeed. Until we do, we cannot close this case. Oh my goodness. Everyone with such scary faces. So I'm the only one who could have been the murderer. That is so weird. That just cannot be. Okay. So now she's gonna say why she can't be the murderer. Okay. Why I can't be the killer. I heard all about the case from Justine Darling here. Had I committed the murder, it would have taken place inside the holding cell. But I couldn't have moved the body. I never went into the prison. I was caught up in my work. Up until the end of the show, I was stuck in my office. Check up on it if you like. You'll find there's no records of me entering the prison. I don't know what reasoning you had, but I can say for sure. I cannot be the killer. But Miss barked at you, pal. You gotta be the culprit. Oh heavens, it's not possible. I already told you. I never went to the prison. If you think I'm lying, why don't you check the records? She wants us to check the records. She does seem confident. For now, all we can do is listen to her and try to draw out more information. I do hope you understand, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, okay. It's pressing time. From Judge Courtney, are you two close? As close as fish and water. Are you jealous? Jealous? On the first day of the investigation, she filled us in on the situation. In exchange for our cooperation, she explained the details of the case to us. How could you say that? You're so mean, Justine, darling. The truth is the truth. I believe it should be told as such. But for some reason, those two seem kind of scary. It would have taken place inside the holding cell. The murder occurred inside the cell? How can you be so certain about that? Well, everywhere else would be under surveillance, right? And the victim's blood was found there too. That blood was actually from when he was struck by Elbert, but I don't think it's necessary to inform her of this fact. That doesn't mean it's proven. You do know that. But I see no contradictions in assuming the crime scene was at the detention center. Never went into the prison. You never went into the prison? Do you have proof of this? Oh my, can't you wait for me to finish? Oh. Alright. You were in your office the whole time. Nothing strange happened? Nope, nothing at all. Were you looking for something? I'm not too good at tidying up. I always forget where I put everything. The other day, I even lost track of an important piece of evidence. How could you have made such a grave error? If someone were to take something from me, I wouldn't even notice it the entire year. I guess it will be hard to attack with the key to the breaker room. On the day of the incident, I was working in my office, and searching for lost items. In other words, I couldn't have gone to the prison, even if I had wanted to. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. You did not enter the prison from the entrance. But what if there was another route? Oh my, are you suggesting something like a secret passage? I don't know if anything like that exists. It's my firm belief you did possess an alternate route. That route was neither the entrance nor a secret passage. The route you used was from here. Quite literally where I stood. The barbed wire fence. You would have moved Knightley to your office first. This office leads directly to the garden side of the courtyard. If you had moved through here and past the barbed wire fence, you would have arrived at the prison without passing through the entrance or a tunnel. I wonder what Mr. Edgeworth is saying. Haven't you noticed? There's a high voltage current running through the fence. Yeah, obviously she couldn't have passed through it like that. The current to the fence could be switched off at the breaker room. And you were the only one who had the key, Warden Roland. Ah, great. Most amusing. However, the breaker room is located on the prison side of the courtyard. How would the Warden have accessed it from the detention centre? Ah, quite right. Gotcha there, Mr. Edgeworth. That's... If there is no record of her passing through the prison entrance, it would not have been possible for her to turn off the fence's breakers. Oh no! But Warden Roland was the only one who had access. Don't let this faze you, Miles. But I don't have a solution for this. She'll get away. Now, Uncle Ray never said, don't think, you know. It's just not good to be so stubborn about it. That's all. But no matter how you think about it, Warden Roland couldn't have done this alone. Accomplice. Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you have failed to come up with a new plot... Okay. I am not amused. Interrupting my judgment only to be silent. Without thinking, I just blurted out objection. I have to answer. I won't let this end here. My reasoning is not over yet. So how did she use the breaker without leaving the detention centre? It's perfectly possible. With this method. What made it possible to turn off the breaker? She had an accomplice. It was indeed impossible for one person, but what if there were two? Exactly. Just what I expected from you, Miles. Yes. You had an accomplice on the prison side. Enough. Oh, pardon me. I am disappointed in you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What's that, pal? You making fun of Mr. Edgeworth? The inmates at this prison all wear bracelets. If they try and go where they please, they will set off the alarm. Ah, so you noticed. This is a prison after all. Not only the prisoners, but the guards too, are under constant scrutiny. So why didn't anyone notice Elbert? The only ones allowed to move around freely are the animals. And they certainly could not have used the breaker. But it's still possible that a person did it. Excluding the inmates and the guards, what kind of person would you say it was? I would probably say it's a model inmate. We can't exclude the inmates and guards just yet. There was only one person, one whose movement was not restricted. This evidence shows that there was someone in the prison who could move around freely, also the person who saw the body. Saw its bracelet. At the time of the incident it was broken and did not respond to the door sensor. That is... It looks like the bracelet worn by the prisoners. This belongs to a certain model inmate, and it's broken. What? Just who on earth does this belong to? We're gonna name and shame. Frank saw it. The warden's favourite inmate. Uh-oh. Ew. Just noticed the thing licking her face. Don't you think it's strange? He managed to keep this hidden while he moved around freely in his daily prison life. Golly, when you think about it, it shouldn't be possible. I'd hazard a guess that this was because he was a special case. Just like Sir Handogan in the special cell. The prosecutor's statement is mere conjecture. You could find out by simply asking Sawyer himself. It is my firm belief that Mr. Sawyer and Warden Roland were partners in crime. Due to their collaboration, another route surfaces. The real route by which Knightley's body was moved to the prison. There were two obstacles needed to be dealt with. The security camera in front of Knightley's cell, and the electric fence in the courtyard. Both these problems could have been solved with a single stroke, by having Sawyer switch off the breakers in the breaker room. Hold it. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, could you wait one moment? Do you still intend to deny it, Warden Roland? I give in. I confess. Warden Roland! No, this cannot be. Yes, it's just as he says. Frank Sawyer and I were partners in crime. No way. I like how he said nothing. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Well done, Miles. At last, we have the real culprit cornered. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, Frankie operated the breaker. But we were not responsible for Knightley's murder. I was going to say death. What? Warden Roland, whatever do you mean? Judge Courtney, would the Goddess of Law hear my confession? The Goddess of Law is merciful. She will absolve you. I was being threatened. Oh yeah, sure. That's why I had no choice but to do as I was told. So who was threatening you? Sir Handogan. That assassin. Dogan. It's been going on since that man came to the prison. I will never forget that day. Somehow I don't believe her. Ooh! When we were both alone, he suddenly said to me, I have many dogs outside the prison. Dogs? Loyal dogs who obey my every command. I soon realised that what Dogan referred to were not really dogs, but his human henchmen. And that's not all he said. You'd better watch how you treat me, if you don't want you and your family to become dog food. Oh Jesus. I had no choice. I gave him the special cell. I gave him anything he desired. Anything he desired. You don't mean the supplier? That's right. Anything he ordered, I would deliver to him. An underground dealership. I was the one who won over Frankie. It was simple. I just offered him special privileges within the prison. And these underground dealings? Once a week in the middle of the night, Frankie would shut off 2 of the breakers. So I could move from my office to the courtyard without being seen by the security camera. I would go past the fence, and drop the goods down the well near the prison. And then I'd sprinkle this perfume over it. So that's the true identity of the sweet scent. The scent of perfume was a signal for Dogen's dog. After picking up the scent, it would carry the goods to Dogen. Of course, this had to be done while Elbert was away from his cell. I'm surprised he never found out about it, pal. We have a strict timetable here at the prison. Mealtime, exercise time, it's easy to know when he's away from his cell. And since little Rocky is afraid of Dogen's dog, I didn't have to worry about him making noise. So, having full knowledge of the prison's inner workings, she made the deliveries herself. This would have ensured there were no slip-ups. Frankie would turn the breakers back on in the early morning and the delivery was complete. I then modified the timestamp on the security camera. You have told us a great deal. The Goddess of Law accepts your penitent confession. As the warden of the prison, how could I have done such a foolish thing? The day Knightley was killed was also a delivery day. It seems Frankie was working the breakers as usual, but that day I had nothing to send, so I did not go to the courtyard at all. The secret of the supply system. So then Warden Roland was... The police have been searching for Dogen's henchmen for ages. I've also been helping them, but... I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but... No matter how much evidence we have on him, we can't get a single word out of him. So the reason you kept on interrogating him... Yes, it was to find his henchmen. What the fuck? I borrowed all the evidence from the police and carried out the interrogation myself. I kept an eye on all his actions and examined all his mail. Mail, like his correspondence chess letters. But I could never uncover the true identity of his henchmen. This fear, it's something you could never understand. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you were listening, right? Ba 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 ba. I'd say this confession clears the warden of all suspicion. Is it really necessary to press her further than this? Is it necessary to press her further? Of course. Press further. Judge Courtney, my questioning isn't over yet. I'm sure the Goddess of Law isn't satisfied yet either. You mean to badger this woman further? Even if she was threatened by Dogen, this does not prove she was not the culprit in this case. She was able to use a supply route to transport Knightley's body. Do you have any evidence to support this? The body gave off a sweet scent. The scent of perfume that was used to signify delivery. Can you explain this fact? Oh, of course. Since I have made so many deliveries, the scent would have lingered around the well. When the body was moved through the well, the scent would have transferred to it. Mr. Elbert also testified to this fact. That's it, for some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. A nice scent. I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. The lingering scent in the well would, of course, be picked up by anything passing through it. The defense rests. I see. In that case, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything we can do? What should I do? Is this as far as I can go? Is it over already? Yes, Sebastian, it is. And now, court is officially adjourned. I like the design on her hammer too. Is this going to be Ray? Or Gumshoe? Ray! Who was that? Hey, it was Ray. I really do like his theme. It's not nice of you to adjourn things like that, Courtney Pie. Mr. Shields. Are you objecting to the court adjourning? Of course not. I ain't got no objection or anything like that. Go ahead and adjourn court. Do whatever you like. Hey, what are you doing, Mr. Shields? Whoa there, calm down, Kay. Who wants some chocolate? Is this a joke? You'll have to excuse me. I just have one tiny request to make. The Simon Key's attorney. That's right, you're the defense attorney in charge of this case, aren't you? Exactly, did you all forget? That's so mean. Well, you just left everything to Mr. Edgeworth and didn't do anything at all. Yes, that's right. That's why I thought I'd do my job a bit. Do your job? That hardly sounds like you at all. It's to prepare for the trial. I'd like to ask the warden a few questions. Surely you jest. What more would you expect to hear from her? Well, Miss Warden, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the culprit. My thoughts? Uncle Ray believes that Simon is not the culprit. It seems that Miss Warden also suspects someone else, or someone other than Simon. I'd like to hear you out. Mr. Edgeworth, what's Mr. Shields up to? He's trying to lure Warden Roland into testifying. Why was the supply route used to transport the body? I'd say it was to pin the crime on Dogan. I see. If he committed a murder here, he would be transferred to another prison. One with tighter security. And that would get rid of the troublemaker. Exactly. She wouldn't pass up a chance like that. Hey, hold on a sec. The culprit besides Simon? What do you mean? Simon was the one I was supposed to prosecute. Exactly. So wouldn't it be better if the best also listened to what she has to say? Amazing, Mr. Shields. You managed to drag Mr. DeBest into this too. Ha ha ha! Warden Roland, is this acceptable? Oh, you. It's fine. It's fine. You understand a woman's heart. Thank you, Mademoiselle. Actually, I've thought this over. I'd like to tell you my thoughts. You'll let me speak, won't you, Justine darling? Of course. You may speak. Mr. Shields, awesome! Whew, that was a close shave. Thank you, Mr. Shields. No, I'm still leaving the rest to you. Remember what I said. A defense attorney never gives up. The fate of our client rests on our shoulders, after all. It'd be uncool if Uncle Ray didn't put that into practice. Now then, Miles, it's your turn to show you'll never give up. Right. Well then, will you listen to my story? My story? I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogan. I have no idea what transpired between Dogan and the victim. It simply could have been that Dogan was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it is a truly terrible thing. Taking a man's life, you mean? That's how you'd go about saying it, isn't it? If only I had been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. That's why I want to clear up his regrets. Warden Roland. How considerate. I'm sure Mr. Knightley in heaven is overflowing with gratitude. Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? Yeah. My story. So you seem very confident of that. How can you be so sure? The children of this home are all good little boys and girls. Believe in yourself, believe in your friends, and believe in me and the guards. There is no way any of these hard-working children could have committed the murder. Quite an emotional reason. Makes sense, coming from someone like her. Oh wow. Only Dogan would be capable of doing something like that. Knightley was being held in the detention centre, and Dogan was in the prison. They couldn't make any contact. Don't you think that would have prevented trouble? The prison is quite confined, right? There were many ways for them to meet. Knightley was murdered days before he would have been sentenced to prison. Surely there weren't many ways a meeting could have occurred. Even without a direct meeting, Dogan can still cause trouble. Mark my words. What could Knightley have done in the detention centre to displease him? That was just an example. You don't have to take it so seriously. Didn't I already say that I have no idea what transpired between them? Nevertheless, you certainly are a serious one, Edgeworth, dear. What's this? That piercing gaze. Always standing straight and stiff. Very nice. Looking very clever, my dear. I think I'm about to become your biggest fan. Oh, not another. Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused. It's just a flesh wound. Right. Is this some form of psychological warfare? Very well could be. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. During his booking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Booking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention centre. Sounds like you don't really know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dogan. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even have had a chance to scream. I see. Your opinion will be a very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony? Oh, you're making me blush. You're so cute. I'm just kidding. I'll continue. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. Wait, how did... Hold the phone. She doesn't know much about Knightley, but somehow knows that the chessboard contained a chisel. Something don't quite add up. Not quite. Huh. Okay. How do you not know much about Knightley but know that he kept a chisel? Warden Roland, you certainly are sharp-witted. Hey, enough with the titles. Call me Patty. P-A-T-T-Y. However, there's something you were a little too knowledgeable about. Uh-huh. Embarrassed? You're such an inexperienced child, Edgeworth, dear. Fight on, Mr. Edgeworth. You said you didn't really know much about Knightley. If that's the case, how did you know about the chisel inside the chessboard? Uh-oh. Oh, of course. The entrance check. If it was found at the entrance check, it would have been confiscated. Enough with the poor excuses. The entrance check? The chessboard wasn't something Knightley brought with him. It was brought to him later by Mr. Keyes. He didn't even have it when he arrived here. That's... my mistake. I meant the parcel check. There is no parcel check. Even if we assume that, there are so many suspicious points. Why wasn't such a chisel immediately confiscated? Ooh. Judge Courtney, did you tell anyone about the trick to the chessboard? I did not. Uh-oh. If no information about our investigation was leaked, then how did you find out? You could not have examined this during the entrance check or parcel check. Certainly, someone in the warden's position would never have let a chisel slip by. Exactly. So answer this, Warden Roland. When and how did you learn about the chessboard secret? In that case, I shall answer for you. It is because... I give up, Edgeworth, dear. It is as you say. I interrogated Knightley. That's how I learned about the chessboard. But please believe me, I didn't kill anyone. Enough. It would appear that we have uncovered some vital information. I'll ask you to testify once more, if that's alright with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. No objection here. Thank you, Edgeworth, dear. I'll do my best. That's still really strange. Well then, Warden Roland, I trust there will be no lies from here on out. Her pool of lies is slowly running dry. Soon I will bring out her true nature. My story part 2. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. She's piling lies on top of lies. Not realizing that it only tightens the noose around her neck. You speak with the new prisoners, you say? That's right. I'm glad you understand. Your testimony is not solid evidence. It requires more than just understanding. Oof. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. Woohoo! Rebuttal. You're certain you interrogated him the day before the show? Yes, around 3 AM on the 27th. 3 AM at night? That matches the time of death of Knightley's autopsy report. You summoned him that late at night and he wasn't asleep? Well, a guard was attacked in Knightley's cell, remember? After that incident, we checked his cell and inquired about the circumstances. I'm sure all that excitement made it hard to sleep. Knightley was wide awake, you know? So, even though it was highly irregular, you still carried out this late-night interrogation. Edgeworth dear, you're so mean. It may have been irregular, but the truth is I had him moved. You can call it what you like, it still doesn't change the facts. Please excuse him, I'll give my incompetent apprentice a good scolding later. But for now, mademoiselle, what did you mean when you said you had him moved? I thought it was obvious, monsieur. I spoke to him in my office. Her office? The route she used to move Knightley's body. Please add that statement to your testimony. Uh-huh. Of course. I'll just press everything. And where's your office located exactly? You know the sign. You know that sign in the detention centre hallway? You mean the one that says no entry? Yes. It's just a short walk up that aisle, about 5 minutes, from the cell block. I've heard that room exists into the courtyard, or exits into the courtyard. Of course, that side of the courtyard is my private garden. Oh, I get it. You're going to say I used that route to move the body. Indeed, you must have been able to use it. If you use that route... Of course. For now, that is merely a possibility. There is no decisive evidence to support it. Well, there is no other way the body could have been moved. Oh my god, we're going back and forth. Surely you haven't forgotten my theory that Simon Keyes dropped the body in the well? That's right, that's right. What she said. Pursuing this point further would be hazardous. Always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. What did you talk about? What indeed, it was just trifling conversation. What kind of animal he liked, what his hobbies were, that sort of thing. Oh god, hiccups. Hobbies? I assume he mentioned chess. Oh yes. That's all Knightley would ever talk about. Now that I think about it, the note he had in his room, it probably had something to do with chess too. So Warden Roland saw Knightley's note. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. Okay. What was Knightley like during the interrogation? He was very honest. Mr. Knightley was... honest, pal. He also talked about a croissant, like some kind of promo. So en passant and chess piece promotions, I presume? Looks like he was his usual chess-loving self. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. If he really returned to his cell, there is no way he would be a corpse now. I know you're suggesting that I killed him during the interrogation, but... I couldn't possibly have had a motive to kill Knightley. Could I? Dogan was the only one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. She only hated Dogan. Please, add that statement to your testimony. Dogan was the one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. That's not true, though. He did have a connection. Oh, where is it? Oh, there we go. The correspondence. Yeah, they were playing correspondence chess. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to have a look at this. It looks like a record of a chess game. Is there something wrong with it? This was discovered in the victim's cell. It was Knightley's memo. Warden Roland, you also discovered this note in the very same place. And not just in Knightley's cell, but in Dogan's too, correct? What are you... Don't say that you don't know about the chessboard in the special cell. After all, you would have kept an eye on Dogen's actions, down to the smallest details. No, to be more precise, it wasn't Dogen that you needed to keep an eye on. The warden was searching for Mr. Dogen's henchman. From the start, I found it strange that the warden interrogated the prisoners personally, since he used his henchmen to threaten harm to a family. Warden Roland interrogated Dogen to expose them. So, what are you saying? As you inspected Dogen's mail, you must have known that he played correspondence chess. And then Knightley appeared with a chess memo in hand. She assumed he was a henchman. We deduced that he and Dogen were connected. You must have arrived at the same conclusion as well. However, you went one step too far in your reasoning. You thought Knightley was one of Dogen's henchmen, who had come to kill you. So that's why you interrogated Knightley, not Knightley Boy. If the boss won't crack, go after his henchmen. In addition, you discovered something when you were interrogating him. Inside his chessboard, you found a portable chisel. Uh-oh, the murder weapon. Okay. To Warden Roland, the chisel was a symbol of Dogen. And that was the final straw. You believed Knightley was one of Dogen's henchmen, and you killed him. Oh dear. So basically, she killed him from one really bad misunderstanding. Yeesh. It seems there will be no rebuttal. Judge Courtney, your verdict. Though it is incredibly unfortunate, there seems to be no room for doubt. I really do like the design on her hammer. I shall announce my verdict. For the murder of Horace Knightley... Never mind. Twice my sacred verdict has been interrupted. Who was that? She's laughing. Warden Roland. Oh god. Oh, how strange. You guys really don't understand anything. It would seem the one who doesn't understand is you. Me? Oh, I understand one thing very well. There is a huge contradiction in your logic, Mr. Edgeworth. Once she's cornered, she starts spouting nonsense. Pay it no heed. Judge Courtney, your verdict. Of course. I'm interested in hearing what the warden has to say. What? I thought so. I just have one thing I want to say. What one? Please take a good look at the autopsy report. The autopsy report? The one I brought with me. I heard exactly what you said earlier, Justine darling. You said the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches? No way. Could that tiny chisel really have made a wound 4 inches deep? Impossible. How could I have made such an error? Oh, forgive me, goddess of law. Well, I believe that overturns your hypothesis. What will you do now, Mr. Edgeworth? The fucking... The animation is bizarre. What'll we do? You'll be alright, pal. Mr. Edgeworth always thinks of something. Oh, hey now. He's gone all white. Hey, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? Isn't there something you can do, pal? Do that turnabout thing. Make some earth-shattering objection. Uncle Ray's a hard worker, but without decisive evidence, we're just whipping a dead horse here. Does that mean it's hopeless? I really wish that music wasn't so crackly. Kinda sucks. The true killer is Warden Roland. If it's not her, then nothing that's happened fits. But the chisel isn't the murder weapon. Are there any other sharp objects here? There are still many mysteries remaining in this case. However, we do not have the evidence to solve them at this present time. We have no choice but to continue this battle in the courtroom. Objection. Oh! Ray! That would just give the killer a chance to destroy evidence. Are you mocking the court? No. I didn't mean anything like that. You look perplexed, Miles. Thought of anything yet? The chisel is not the murder weapon. In that case, what is? It's no use. We're back where we started. No objections, Prosecutor Edgeworth. By the way, any baseless statements will be punished accordingly. Ooh, great. That's a lot of dots. It's no good. I can't think of anything. I need more time. I regret to say, I have no... Huh? No, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what Mr. Shields said. If we give up, Simon will... Have you forgotten that sad look on his face? He was the one who suffered most from Knightley's death. They were friends, and it had quite a lot in common too. If we can't save him, who will? Besides, Simon believes in us, so we can't give up. Kay. Miles, looks like you found a good partner. It's like little Kay says. Whenever you're backed into a corner, think of your client. Keep fighting until the very end. Isn't that the feeling you're getting? Gregory, your old man. No matter what trouble he faced, he would always turn things around and save his client. You've got his blood in you, right? In that case, you're the only one who can turn this around. Judge Courtney, the look in your eyes has suddenly changed. If you do intend to speak, you'd better be prepared to face the consequences. Your logic thus far has been misplaced numerous times. If this were to happen again, I will consider you unfit to call yourself a prosecutor. You will hand over your badge. That's right. My reasoning about this case has indeed been misplaced numerous times. Have I made a grave miscalculation? Wait, my logic is... misplaced? Still silent, I cannot condone this waste of time. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, what the fuck is happening? I will announce my verdict. Are we going to object in the middle of it? That's it, I have to turn my logic around. My logic isn't misplaced, it's been misled. This court finds the defendant, Simon Keyes... 3 times I've been interrupted. Isn't it a little early to hand down a verdict? I actually think it's rather late. Don't you agree, Justine, darling? Enlighten us. What? Try to remember. The eyewitness account about his dog and his absence from the animal show. When I first heard that information, my suspicion immediately fell on Dogan. I'm amazed you take such pride in retelling your previous failings. But, was that not the killer's aim? What if we assume that was their intention from the start? Of course, the chisel served the same purpose. Knightley's body was stabbed in the same spot with multiple sharp objects. This shows that he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon was removed. By soaking the chisel in Knightley's blood, the killer wanted to mislead us into thinking the chisel was the murder weapon. Why? That's because... Why did the killer want us to think the chisel was the murder weapon? To get Dogan expelled. Warden Roland? You made use of this chisel's image. Chisel's image? What are you trying to say? Mr. DeBest, when you see this chisel, what does it suggest to you? Huh? Something like... Dogan is the killer, right? Now do you understand? That was the Warden's aim. Ah, she wanted us to suspect the person with the chisels. Indeed, that was her plan from the very beginning. To make Sir Han Dogan out to be the killer. I understand your logic. It is true the Warden did not think kindly of Dogan, but you understand, don't you? This alone does not prove she is the killer. As I thought, it's not enough. The remaining chance is for me to find the real murder weapon. If you have no more evidence, I believe this conversation is over. I could prove it, if I found the real murder weapon. It doesn't matter what you say, we did a clean sweep of the place. It is as Sebastian says, in the end, we could not find any weapons. In other words, such proof is impossible. Now, the murder weapon must still be somewhere in the prison. As long as this exists. The security gate. You remember its name after all? Are you mocking me? It's because of those things that you can't take metal objects in or out of this place. Ah. Right. As long as those security gates exist, the murder weapon should still be here. That also means no weapon could have been brought into the prison. In the end, we're back to that same mystery after all. Judge Courtney. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Surely you've realised. If the real murder weapon is still in the prison, one must also consider how it got there in the first place. The chisel was concealed within a chessboard, but the chisel is not the real murder weapon. Which means the real murder weapon must have been smuggled in somehow. The way it was smuggled in, can you prove that? How Warden Roland brought the weapon into the prison? You had evidence transferred from the precinct? Yes, we borrowed all the evidence concerning Dogan. I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but... that's it! She could have used that. This shows another way a weapon could be brought into the prison. Huh. The knife! The knife! We don't know where the knife is. Yesterday, Dogan said this. The knife, of course! Yes, my bells, there are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom made, attached to my knife and Anubis' collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. There we go. It's possible the murder weapon was brought in as confiscated evidence. What? God damn. Dogan's knife was confiscated and stored on the premises. Furthermore, a bell was attached to the knife. It can't be. The bell on that chisel. Exactly. The killer took it from the knife and reattached it to the chisel. But the only fingerprints on this chisel are Knightley's. The killer probably wore gloves when they made the switch. She made the chisel out to be the murder weapon by attaching Dogan's bell, and in doing so, made Dogan appear to be the culprit. Furthermore, the handling of the set of evidence that this bell originally belonged to was only possible for someone with the proper authority. Who, sir? Who had that authority? Why don't we ask the warden what she thinks? You can't find bells anywhere. You can find bells anywhere. Anyone could have attached it, right? These were custom made. I see. So, you don't know. These bells are Dogan's trademark. There are only 2 in the world. What? And so, attaching the bell would, naturally, make you the killer. Do you have evidence that I have the knife? You don't, do you? Of course, I understand. In that case, Mr. DeBest, I'd like to request an investigation, immediately. But if you find it, it'd be problematic for me. That doesn't matter now. It is necessary that we reveal the truth. You are a prosecutor, are you not? Well, even if you say that. Curse this useless prosecutor. If only I still had investigative rights. No! Besides, we can't investigate without the warden's permission, right? There's no way she would approve. We have no choice but to investigate ourselves. If you don't have evidence, there's no use in continuing this conversation. The goddess of law does not smile upon those with no evidence. This will have to be continued in the courtroom. Not good. If we give the warden more time here, she'll definitely destroy the evidence. It seems like I have no choice but to raise an objection and stall for time. But I don't have anything definite. Is that really acceptable? Is it really like me to do something this reckless? No, not good. Now is not the time for hesitation. Right now I'm not a prosecutor, but an attorney, or an attorney's assistant. I need to protect my client. I'm the only one who can save him now. In that case... even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I have to take it. It's sink or swim. Should I raise an objection? Yes. If you don't, I'm pretty sure you'd fail. Almost feels like I've turned into a certain bluffing defense attorney. But right now, I can't come to a standstill here. Objection! Hold it. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what now? I just realised something. What would that be? Pray tell. Naturally, the whereabouts of the real murder weapon. Dogan's knife. Mr. Edgeworth, is that really true? Yes, though it is a lie. I find that hard to believe. This isn't a bluff, is it? You underestimate me. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary. Ugh, this is bad for my heart. There's no way you could know, because such a thing doesn't even exist. Well then, could you enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think. Think. Somewhere the police didn't look. A blind spot in this animal-filled prison. A hiding place the warden would have complete confidence in. Hiding place? Come to think of it. Oh. It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. He hid that in the mouth of the dog. The same method. No, it couldn't be, could it? But there aren't that many ways to hide things through an investigator's eyes. And the metal detector earlier did go off. Prosecutor Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? It's possible, but I'm taking a big gamble here. The place where the real murder weapon is hidden is here. Could I do it on the proper spot? I'll just say the courtyard. Here? In the courtyard? Indeed. That's not enough information. Please show us in more detail. This is where the real murder weapon is hidden. Oh, there we go. Can I do it quite literally on the mouth? That's it. Back then. There we go. Yeah, it started beeping. Huh? What's the matter, detective? It looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? There we go. Of course, that's why the metal detector reacted. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to take a look at this. The chisel. Wasn't that just the fake murder weapon? Dogan hid this chisel inside his dog's mouth. And the real murder weapon was hidden in very much the same way. Uh-oh. The real murder weapon is in the pond, inside the alligator. What? What? We can confirm that the metal detector reacted to the alligator. Judge Courtney, please have the insides of the alligator examined. I give my consent. We'll have to call a veterinarian. I can make that little girl open her mouth. Can I help? Yes, go ahead. Ooh. Warden Roland. Discovering the real murder weapon will settle this matter once and for all. Why don't you do the honourable thing and confess now? What would I have to confess? In that case, you can just wait for your fate to be sealed. Ah, we found it, sir. Just where you said it would be. It's over. Patricia Rowland, the real murder weapon is none other than Dogan's knife. And the one who murdered Horace Knightley can only be you. What's her breakdown gonna be? Dogan was the evil one. I didn't do anything wrong. It was completely reasonable. That guy was one of Dogan's henchmen. Him. If only he had never come to my home. I could at least still be happy. My special paradise. He ruined it. All of it. Him. That no-good assassin. Him. Huh? Holy crap. Jesus. Oh. What? Whoa. What? What the fuck? The coat was a goddamn... It was loads of those things. I don't even know what they are. That was... that was definitely not expected. Jesus Christ. Mr. The best of the best. We have the results. The best of the best. Looks like even the forensic officers have it tough. We found traces of Knightley's blood on Dogan's knife. It was just like you said. You're the best, Mr. DeBest. Alright, good job. But don't stop there, keep the praise coming. Yes, sir, you're so incredible. It brings tears to my eyes. From sorrow. Well done, Sebastian. Next comes the follow-up investigation. Huh? What are you talking about, Justine? Hasn't the case been solved already? We have not yet confirmed if Knightley truly was one of Dogan's henchmen. There is also a chance that Wad and Roland jumped to conclusions. Oh. That is the remaining uncertainty in this case. Anyways, let's keep investigating. Hey, you there, come with me. Since I'm the best, the truth will appear before me first. When that moment arrives, make sure you don't miss it. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to witnessing your first-rate ability. Let's go! Oh my god. What a cuckoo. We live in troubling times, wouldn't you agree? The would-be assassin of the president was found murdered in the prison. Knightley had not planned to assassinate the president. The truth is not as vital as you seem to believe it to be. Not to the world. And not to the law. That can't be right. Believe what you will. However, as long as Prosecutor Edgeworth remains as a prosecutor, it is an inescapable reality. A prosecutor is not someone who demands a guilty verdict. That is what I believe. Those are merely your values. The law is not the plaything of any one person. If you will not submit to that, you will do well to prepare for the consequences. What's that supposed to mean, pal? Don't tell me you're gonna... Now then, this is where I must take my leave. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Bye! Judge Courtney is right. The law should not serve any one person's desires. However, if the truth is bent as a result of that, can that really be called justice? Hey! Simon! And money. Boss! What happened? They said you could come out already? Well, honestly, I don't know for sure. All of a sudden, they were like, you're free to go. And you should thank Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that's because he found out who the real murderer was. Really? He did? Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, no way. Even if you glare at me like that, it's useless. I'm innocent after all. You can't make me guilty. Simon. You should thank him, you know? You're right. Thank you very much. I want to thank you too. Good grief. Mr. Defense Attorney? Can I ask you just one more question? Yes, you may. But I'm not a defense attorney. I thought that Knightley and I were friends. No, I mean best friends. I always thought we were. You don't think so anymore? Well, I'm just wondering. There were some things I had no idea about. Like how he could hate someone enough to kill them. That's why maybe he never trusted me either. Simon, that's not true. You're lying, because if I had known, I could have stopped him. I would have told him he had no need to be angry with anyone. Mr. Keyes, I don't think he disliked you either. Let's show him proof that Knightley trusted him. Ooh. Wait. The chessboard? Maybe not that. I don't remember which one it would be. Yeah, the chessboard, because he had him take it to him. Yeah, it would be the chessboard. That's what I gave to. Knightley hid a chisel inside it. God. Most likely to aid in his escape. Escape? He used me? I think it's more the fact he trusted you. Yeah, he trusted in you. He knew you'd bring it to him without looking into it and without question. And in doing just that, you were caught up in everything. Knightley, you idiot. Looks like he gets it. Simon is not as dumb as he looks, after all. I'm sure he'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Was that supposed to be a compliment? I'll be strong. I'll become a splendid wild animal tamer, for Knightley's sake. Excellent. That's the spirit. Oh boy. I almost forgot. If you'd like, please come to our next show. Very Big Circus. Very Big Circus is coming today. It is, it's Max Galactica. Yeah, his name was Max. I think it's just the fact the last time I recorded I called him Maximilian, which just reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll also be performing in it. The Very Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages. Oh, that sounds like fun. Let's go, Miss Edgeworth. Well, I'll think about it. Well, we need to get back to practicing right away. You'll be with Regent today. What? The tiger? No way, no way, no way. He'll be fine. He's a good boy. No way. There is no way it'll be fine. He just run away. Please cut me a break. And there you go. Oh, there they go. Oh, man, bravo, bravo. You really put on a good show today, Miles. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Shields. Without your help, she might have gotten away. Not to mention allowing us to continue the investigation. Oh man, cut it out already. You're gonna make me blush. I never know when you were being serious. Uncle Ray is always serious. So, how was it, Miles? How did it feel to be a defense attorney, to save people? A defense attorney? Well, that really took me back. It was just like being next to your old man again. It's been a while since I felt this good. It was, well, it's somewhat difficult to say it was a good thing. Come on, Miles. Are you sure you don't want to be a defense attorney? What? You know, pick up where your father left off. Don't you want to save people like he did? What are you talking about, pal? Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. But is it really that unusual for a prosecutor to become a defense attorney these days? Unusual isn't the problem here. Hey, don't be so upset. It's normal, you know? Normal. It's not. Normal, pal. You'd all make for a powerful defense team. Mr. Shields, I am a prosecutor, and Uncle Ray is a defense attorney. That's why I'm being serious about this. Well, that's just my opinion. Feel free to drop by anytime if you have a change of heart. I'll be waiting for you. Of course. And there he goes. Following my father's footsteps? I don't know if Edgeworth would be able to. Me? Become a defense attorney? I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my dad. Oh wow, we actually get to see him. Damn. Should I become a defense attorney? Like my father? Oh, the end. Wow, I did not expect it to end so abruptly. Huh. Alright. There's that. Goddamn, that's the second. Hooray! The second episode is finished. The third episode is the longest in the entire game, I think. It's longest in terms of how many different parts there are. There's like 3 different beginnings, 3 different middles, and 3 different ends. It's ridiculous. But I am looking forward to it. Wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 parts to it. 2 beginnings, 4 middles, 3 ends. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the longest, but we don't know that for a fact. Either way, that is going to be the end of this session. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, take care.